We're here on the Acropolis where the Parthenon is, but to your left and my right, below me, is Mars Hill. This is where Paul preached to the Athenians. And then to the right of that, below it, is the Agora, or the marketplace. This is where the Apostle Paul found the altar to the unknown God. Here on Mars Hill, one of the things you can see is the Acropolis where the Parthenon is. This is where the Apostle Paul preached to the Athenians about the one who had been raised from the dead, Jesus Christ. This is where he preached to them about the unknown God who sent his Son, Jesus, by whom he was going to judge the whole world. And then here to my right and your left, down below, is the Agora. This is where Paul walked through and saw the statues to all the gods. And this is where he found the altar to the unknown God. And so he preached to them about the unknown God. So as Paul was preaching to the Athenians, he had a living illustration to them when he talked to them about the fact that they worshipped many gods, but he preached to them the unknown God. He had an illustration to use that the God he preached to did not dwell in temples made by the hands of man. Paul first arrived in the city of Athens, he found it full of idols. He came here to Mars Hill, where he preached the gospel to the Athenians. And he had some interesting things to say about them. He walked around and observed their objects of worship. And then he found an inscription on one of the altars to the unknown God. So he preached his sermon from that. And he said, "The God who made the world, I now declare unto you, he is that unknown God. He gives life to all of us, but he doesn't live in temples made by the hands of men." And that's one of the things you see here in Athens are the temples to the various gods and goddesses. So they worship many gods, but he declared to them the unknown God. And he said that this unknown God does not live in temples made by the hands of men. He quoted one of the Greek poets. He quoted from a poem to Zeus that we are God's offspring and that he is very close to us and that we should seek after him. He said one more interesting thing. He said he appointed a man by whom he is going to judge the whole world. That God appointed a man, we know who that man was, Jesus, by whom he is going to judge the whole world through this Jesus whom he had raised from the dead. And that's the interesting thing, is that they believed in the life after death, the resurrection of the soul, but not the resurrection of the body. So this was very unique. It says that a few men followed Paul. From here, Paul went on to Corinth. And when he got to Corinth, he changed the way he preached. Not that that message wasn't powerful, but it says, he said, "I determined to know nothing among you but Christ and him crucified. And I came to you not with the wisdom of men, but in the demonstration of the power of the gospel." He came and saw the power of God, and no doubt when he came to Corinth there were miracles and signs and wonders, and this got the Corinthians' attention. Perhaps if he had done that in Athens, he would have gotten their attention. He was preaching to intellectuals, philosophers, people with that kind of background, that now he's preaching with the power of God.